Erica Mena thought that this pregnancy would mark a fresh start for her, a phase of joy, recovery, and optimism. Now, though, online there are terrifying rumors that her newborn child might be very sick, a medical emergency that left doctors deeply concerned, according to individuals acquainted with the situation, is what led to Erica's recent hospitalization. The silence is only feeding more rumors, and they are spreading like wildfire, even though Erica hasn't confirmed anything yet, really. Is her child in danger? What exactly have the doctors found? As followers, our incredulous social media is ablaze with conjectures, fears, and prayers. Sources are hinting at a possible pregnancy problem that might significantly change the reality stars. Some believe it to be stress, but others believe it to be something far more serious, regardless of the truth. It's clear that Erica and her close friends and family are doing everything in their power to conceal it, but the cracks are starting to show. Could the mother and kid be in risk because of this problem? Or is someone hiding the truth to protect their reputation? The emotional storm that is brewing behind the scenes is just beginning, and what we're about to hear could break your heart. It all began with an enigmatic late-night post on a fan page that had a close connection to Erica. Prayers up for Erica. The game said as a comment on a grainy photo of what appeared to be Erica entering a hospital. According to reports, she is ill. Within minutes, fans started flooding the comments area with inquiries for more information. Some thought it was sensationalism, while others thought something was seriously amiss, and less than an hour later, the picture's validity was confirmed. As soon as it was established that Erica had been admitted to the hospital, rumors that it had something to do with her pregnancy quickly emerged. The official explanations for Erica's silence added a great deal of drama to the situation. Longer posts, daily content such as quotes, self-portraits, and videos of her kids. Her Instagram story was completely empty after 2 days of outfit checks and behind-scenes looks at her life. The vibe changed online. Her followers, who had previously criticized her for drama or past relationships, were now united in their worry. There was something quite odd. A well-known but unverified celebrity rumor website later made a startling disclosure based on their alleged insider knowledge. Doctors found that Erica had a rare pregnancy condition. They used terms like serious emotional distress, risk to the baby's health, and emergency monitoring, but they didn't provide any further details. Within few hours, the hashtags #PrayForErica and #Ericabi health gained popularity. Followers began expressing their own pregnancy related issues in the hopes that she would conquer whatever it was she was facing. Theories were blowing up everywhere. Many speculated that it was stress-related, citing her past dramatic interviews and social media feeds. Others pointed the finger onto Erica's ex-boyfriend Safari, claiming that his absence and lack of support may have played a role. Many brought up the fact that Erica had wept in public during her prior pregnancy due to feelings of abandonment. One fan said she's been through enough on Twitter. If this man pushes her over the edge again, we won't forgive him. Then followed the shocking information that sent the internet into a frenzy. A nurse allegedly working at the hospital where Erica was confined posted anonymous text to a gossip account. She said that doctors had mentioned a condition called placental insufficiency, which can limit the baby's oxygen and nutrition intake, even though it wasn't verified. The mere rumor of a medical condition shook Erica's fan base. People started discussing their fears, uploading medical articles, and using Google to look up more on the condition. "I went through this, and this can be so dangerous if not caught early," were among the comments. "That's why I almost lost my baby." With the speed at which the rumor spread, attention turned to Safari, who remained silent. He hadn't acknowledged or shown concern, and he hadn't even shared a vague prayer emoji. And many fans found that intolerable. Comments asking for an answer started to flood his earlier posts. Some users were less polite, criticizing him for his previous behavior and accused him of being the reason she's so stressed. One person said, "You're just out here posting gym pictures when your baby mama is in the hospital? Disgusting." Some SRU supporters pointed out that Safar had been spotted at a function the same night that Erica was allegedly admitted she might be losing their child, and he's out there acting like it's a normal Saturday. Read one famous tweet. It was Over as soon as that image appeared on blogs, people were incensed. They saw it as total emotional desertion rather than merely neglect. He was seen looking carefree, wearing casual clothing, and joking with companions. This is extremely callous. Meanwhile, a person close to Erica's team revealed that she had been under a lot of stress in the past few weeks, trying to protect her children from the public dealing with legal issues with her ex-boyfriends and rebuilding her reputation after multiple scandals. Another source claims that Erica had scheduled an emergency examination after receiving some alarming test results a few days before the hospital visit. But when doctors found signs of fetal distress, the appointment turned into a full-fledged stay. Fans desperately needed real answers, and when a few online reporters tried to get in touch with her team, they were given a brief response that read, "Erica is currently under medical care." Within minutes, the story went viral and people speculated about what might have caused her to collapse. Was it physical exhaustion, emotional trauma, or something more serious related to the pregnancy? Sounds grew louder as she grew more silent. And then just when it appeared that there was nothing more to speculate about, another anonymous tip arrived, this time from someone posing as a friend of a nurse. "Works on the same floor. We request your privacy at this time." Fans around the world were moved by the image of Erica, who was once fearless, fierce, and seemingly untouchable, now crying and gripping her abdomen while praying for her unborn child. "She's been crying nonstop," was a succinct but unsettling statement. They keep an eye on the infant every hour. It's serious. This new detail increased the emotional tension. The resurfacing of an old video of Taeju's talking about parenthood and saying, "I would do anything for my kids," was one of the most heartbreaking moments. Others started to record encouraging video messages and share them using the trending hashtags. Others organized online prayer circles, lit candles, and even tagged celebrities who were friends with Erica to encourage them to speak up and offer support. The video went viral again, but this time it was viewed from a completely different perspective instead of just a famous person. People were seeing a mother who was scared and vulnerable, possibly going through every parent's worst fear eventually. Under tight security, photographers caught a glimpse of someone being carried into a hospital room, and fans were positive it was Erica. Even though the face was hidden, the man was hunched over, surrounded by nurses, and had a hoodie covering his face. Shortly after, one of Erica's closest friends posted an enigmatic comment on her Instagram account saying, "God, please keep my sister safe." One witness claimed to have heard someone quietly as the wheelchair passed. That small detail was enough to cause yet another online anguish. People immediately saw the connection. Even though she didn't identify Erica by name, she is not worthy of this suffering. Another rumor surfaced while fans were trying to catch their breaths, suggesting that Erica had briefly lost consciousness and that doctors were preparing for an emergency birth if the baby's condition didn't improve within the next 48 hours. The friends swiftly deleted the story after receiving a flurry of encouraging direct messages, possibly because she was worried that she had revealed too much. But the damage had already been done, and it was now clear that whatever was happening in that hospital room was real, unfiltered, and horrifying. The internet was now holding its breath because of the intensity of the emotions, and the most tragic image of all surfaced at that precise moment. The image was not meant for general public viewing. Fans were positive it was Erica, even though the faces were blurred for privacy, and they emphasized the bracelet design, the tattoos, and even the noticeable slope of her nose, which is barely noticeable in the side view of the image, which was anonymously posted to a gossip site by someone working at the hospital, went viral on social media very quickly. It showed a woman lying in a hospital bed with her face turned away from the camera, cables tied to her arms, and monitors all around her. A man sat next to her, clutching her hand and lowering his head. Furthermore, if the woman was Erica, the man sitting next to her could only be one person. Despite the misunderstanding on the internet, someone brazenly remarked, "It's Safri. He showed up. He is there." Right away, the conversation shifted. "He may have been late, but he showed up too little too late," said another icily. You are not a hero just because you show up when the media notices those who had been dragging him for hours were now confused. Some were hopeful, while others were skeptical. If that's really him, then maybe he does care, one fan commented. But what really sent everyone into a panic was the rumor that Zafary hadn't arrived alone, according to an anonymous hospital employee. Erica's mother had called him in a desperate attempt to get through to him, presumably warning him that if he didn't come right away, he might miss something he would never be able to forgive himself for, because things were getting worse. Zafary's anger increased TFL'd when it was suggested that he should be encouraged to go see his child's mother, who might be losing their child. Arip's condition was not improving, according to a medical staff insider, and the doctors were concerned about prolonged oxygen deprivation due to the baby's irregular heart rate. So they kept the surgical team on standby and monitored her minute by minute, even though they hadn't rushed into an emergency C-section, yet the crowd was already emotional, and after similar scares, some women started posting about them online, starting threads that were full of love, dread, and hope. One commenter said, "I ran into the same problem. My child spent months in the intensive care unit after being delivered at 29 weeks. It may seem terrible, but miracles do happen. Stay strong, Erica." Celebrities began to talk about Erica's life after previously being silent, sending love and strength. "To my girl" was the caption for a previous co-star's old photo from her days on reality. "Shows you've always been a fighter, keep fighting after." Others delivered flowers to the hospital. Fans witnessed delivery trucks and bouquets being rushed inside. The overwhelming support just helped to emphasize how serious the situation was. Then, a little yet important update surfaced: a popular gossip website received a message from someone claiming to be Erica's distant relative. The statement: "I spoke with her sister," it's written according to her Arava, asked about the baby after opening her eyes for a time. Despite her weakness, she's suddenly alert. She scared people around, shuddered at the comment. What it must be like to wake up in a hospital bed with equipment all around you, hoping for a miracle and not knowing if your child is still okay, is beyond comprehension for fans. But the shaky hope that was beginning to take shape was shattered by another twist. The tape that was allegedly leaked from a medical staff chat was enough to instill widespread dread. Despite the distorted noises, one nurse remarked, "She's bleeding again. They might not be able to wait. If the baby does not stabilize in the following hour, they will remove it." Fans accepted the recording because of its tone, timing, and consistency with prior leaks, even if its authenticity could not be completely confirmed. The hashtag #Severas began trending on a global scale. The story was now being followed, even by individuals who had not been fans before news outlets began contacting Erica's team to request statements, but they stayed silent. The only thing everyone knew for sure was that this was no longer a tabloid story with extreme sensationalism. Whatever was happening in that hospital room looked frighteningly real. There was a strange live video on Safar's profile at the time. Many people were silenced by it, even though it was taken away after only about 15 seconds in the dimly lit hospital corridor. Someone, possibly Zafary, was seen pacing back and forth while frantically using the phone despite the muffled voice. One comment was barely audible: "I didn't think it'd get this bad." That brief film did nothing but stoke the fires. The tough questions began to be posed. Did Zafary ignore warning signs of danger? Was there anything Erica had tried to tell him wasn't quite right? Did the emotional stress she had endured during their relationship have an adverse effect on her physical health? One blog post is titled, "Did Sophie's neglect put their baby in danger?" It got over 200,000 views in a matter of hours, as emotions were running high. More information began to come to light, this time from Erica's group of friends. One close buddy tweeted, "This could have been prevented," and then deleted it. "She begged to be calm. She begged to go to sleep, but you persisted in driving her name. You broke her." The letter appeared to be a direct attack on Zafary, the media and fans who have criticized Erica throughout the years. At the same time, the hospital was tense. Doctors and a neonatal team were in constant communication. According to someone with knowledge of the incident, an incubator had previously been brought into the delivery wing as a precaution, one staffer whispered. To a reporter, they're hoping for the best while preparing for the worst. Back online fans were organizing support. People put up prayer rooms on the website, streamed calming music and well wishes on YouTube, and organized a digital vigil using candles and profile photo filters. The entire internet appeared to pause and hold its breath for one woman and her unborn child, and just when things appear fatally shaky, a new message was posted to Erica's covered fan club. She's going into surgery. The administrator announced following a conversation with a family member, pray more than ever on every platform. A screenshot of the message was shared. It was happening after hours off discussion. Seemed the doctors had finally made a decision. It was unclear whether it was done to save the baby Erica, or both emotions surfaced. People began sending prayers in all capital letters. Gifts of candles and crying emojis. There were many who wrote open letters praising Erica's strength, others May. Tribute movies that highlighted her strong aspects, like her fiery reality TV arguments or her most delicate motherhood interviews. She was more than just a celebrity at the time, and the entire world was watching her fight for her child. And as the operating room doors closed behind her, everyone was thinking the same thing. Will they both live a menace of medical personnel in the hospital, sterile and nervous? Operating room. Erica Leo's monitors beeped erratically as the anesthesiologist repositioned her breathing tube, and the obstetrician gave a stern nod. A doctor said sorely, "We can't wait any longer. We have to take the baby out immediately." Then the room fell into a dense silence, broken only by the hurried sounds of preparation. Safri was sitting on a seat outside the room, holding his head in his hands, and for the first time, he looked completely broken. The man who used to be known for his flamboyant lifestyle and never-ending smile was barely recognized by those who passed by, and this was not a moment. He was filming the incubator, was waiting at the far wall. The nurses were moving quickly, and the instruments were clinking. He wasn't posting anything on the internet here there, was just fear and no one to listen to. According to someone close to him, he hadn't spoken for over 20 minutes. He just kept whispering, "Please don't do this. Not her, not the baby." While all was going on, Erica's mother was sitting quietly in the waiting room, murmuring prayers to herself while holding a rosary every time a doctor passed by without stopping. Our heart skipped a beat, and her eyes were red and puffy when she briefly approached a nurse, said, "We'll let you know as soon as there's an update." But that wasn't enough. Nothing would be enough until she saw her daughter breathing and her grandchild crying outside. The hospital supporters gathered without yelling or causing chaos. They were simply standing together, some holding signs, some holding candles, and some even singing soft lullabies. What started out as rumors had developed into something deeper: concern about a woman they had only seen on their screens, but now felt a deep connection to brought. Strangers from many cities and states together in the operating room. Time seemed to stand still as the doctors made the cut. The room's enthusiasm transformed into razor-sharp focus due to issues in the baby's awkward posture. The birth was tense. "We have to move fast," one doctor said. A few seconds later, a tiny, weak body was silently lifted out to silent. There was panic. A specialist rushed forward to do fast resuscitation, clamping and cutting when a nurse whispered, "No cry." The baby's legs were floppy and pale in a matter of seconds. Hours went by, then a weak shriek. It was hardly audible since it was so quiet, but it was enough to stop everyone's heart. "We've got something," the nurse said with a passionate voice. But the relief was short-lived. Erica's blood pressure was dropping when another doctor pointed to her and shouted, "We have hemorrhaging." Swiftly, while one staff member rushed the infant into the neonatal intensive care unit, another focused entirely on keeping Erica alive. They ordered blood bags. The industrial beeps grew louder. They made a backup call, though it was contra-lead pandemonium. There was mayhem as everyone in the room gave it their all because this patient wasn't like the others. She had a child, a fighter, someone who has inspired millions of people with their story. The waiting area soon became aware of Erica's ongoing Difficulties and the baby's cries, her mother collapsed into a chair. Crying uncontrollably, Safari abruptly stood up and slammed into the wall with such force that security arrived, unsure whether to intervene or not, but he didn't need to be protected. He needed faith, he needed to be forgiven, he was afraid he had already used up the time he required. Theabe's survival was announced in a private Facebook page by a nurse's acquaintance. The baby made it, small but alive. It's significant but hopeful. They say that message went viral on the internet after being shared and reposted by thousands of individuals. Fans were relieved, but they were also terrified. Every update was an emotional roller coaster. Then, around 40 minutes after the surgery began, a doctor showed up. He removed his mask and walked casually up to the waiting family. He had a serious but unflappable expression. Softly, "She's stable," he said. "We were able to stop the bleeding. She survived, but it will take some time for her to recover." The room blew up after screaming. Erica's mother broke down in tears of relief. Safari fell to his knees and sobbed, tears running down his cheeks. The local nurses politely turned away, giving the family a brief moment of peace. Even the security guard next to him secretly wiped his eyes. Social media users shared the happiness right away. The Erica fighter began to gather traction as supporters shared images, motivational sayings, and old recordings of her discussing parenthood. "You've been through hell and back and still stand tall." A supporter added, "You can do it." Another person remarked, "This baby was born from strength, nothing more strength." However, a new round of inquiries followed the respite. The baby was born more earlier than expected. The gestational age was determined by doctors to be between 28 and 30 weeks. Possible issues include low birth weight, infection risks, and underdeveloped lungs. A long stay in the NICU was inevitably very hour. It would be essential. Then something else happened. A hospital nurse supposedly overheard a heated conversation between Safari and Erica's sister. According to the narrative, a sister said, "Don't you dare act like the hero now. She almost died because you failed to support her when she needed you the most." Safari reportedly responded, "I'm here now. I was unaware of how awful that was. You never pay attention." The sister allegedly screamed, "You weren't listening, so you didn't know." There was a whole new level of drama now that the conflict between the families was public knowledge. While some supporters of Safari argued that people changed as a result of loss, others backed Erica's family because they believed his tears were too late. One prominent influencer wrote in a TikTok, "Men who desert their partners during pregnancy don't get to cry at the hospital and expect redemption, Erica. Keep your peace in the meantime." Erica finally woke up from her hospital bed and asked, "Is my baby okay?" A nurse gently told her that the infant was alive and being treated. Erica was too weak to go on, so she wept silently. Her hand moved slightly, aiming for the spot in her stomach where life used to be. The lack of it hit her like a tsunami when she discovered that her baby was no longer inside her and that she had not been conscious during the birth. She was devastated, the doctors explained. Everything slowly, they told her straight. The child needed constant care but was stable. They informed her that she had made the proper choice in coming in at that particular moment. They commended her for her courage. Later that night, a hospital staff member revealed that Erica had asked for seclusion. Even Safari wasn't ready for guests just yet. She is taking everything in, and the staffer said she needs time. She is emotionally and physically exhausted, and while she slept, a caregiver placed a tiny photo of the baby near her bed. The youngster, wrapped in cables and tubes, looked minuscule but alive, and for the moment that was enough. Even as Erica slept in stops and starts, the room remained heavy with the weight of what had happened. And what lay ahead? The battle was far from over. Not at all. The battle was far from over. Not at all. In the days that followed, the hospital became a second home for Erica's family. Although Erica's feelings were still fresh, she was slowly regaining her strength. Her child was still not allowed to be in her arms. The doctor said the infant was still too susceptible. His lungs were undeveloped and his immune system was dangerously weak. Even touching him required gloves and sterilization techniques. But Erica learned every detail by looking at the image next to her bed. Every day, Safri would visit the NICU every day and watch their child battle for hours from behind the glass every now and again. He whispered prayers. Some days, he just stood. Their tears running down his face, some of his critics began to reconsider their positions too. Little too late? Doesn't erase the past, some warned, while others said maybe he's really trying this time. The institution was still seething with tension. Safari's sister forbade her from going near Erica's hospital room when he tried to visit. She allegedly screamed, "You've done enough. Where were you when she almost died?" While carrying your child out, enjoying themselves, distributing pictures of oneself, Safar remained silent. He just turned and walked away. His shoulders hunched like a guy who was lost in the meantime. A new internet rumor emerged, thought suggested. Erica's problem might have been brought on by stress, according to an unidentified insider. Erica had been experiencing a great deal of emotional stress before to the emergency. The source claims that she was crying a lot. Barely sleeping, no one realized how bad things were between her and Safari. They had one more argument a few days before she passed away. There was a lot of speculation on social media. Old live recordings were revived. We looked at tweets from earlier months. Fans analyzed every face expression. From Erica's most recent interviews, identifying signs of emotional exhaustion. Ladies, never let a man stress you into the hospital. One off social media posts said your peace of mind is worth more than any love relationship, but in spite of everything, Erica's child was her only worry on the 5th day. A nurse hesitantly smiled as she walked into her room. "And would you like to see him?" Softly, she asked. Etha stopped. Her heart was pounding, her mouth dried up. She was just able to nod. They wheeled her inside the NICU slowly. The first thing that caught her attention was the sterile smell, a strong mix of antiseptic and machinery. It was then that she saw him, tiny, delicate, wrapped-in plastic cables attached to his chest, and a mask too. Help with breathing, but he was there too, living. Erica's breath caught. She extended her hand, stroking the clear box with her gloved hand, while tears streamed down her cheeks. The words, "Hello, sweetheart." She whispered, "Mom is present." The nurse next to her gave her a gentle grin. "He's powerful. You hand it on to him." In that moment, everything shifted. Rather than being about survival, it was now more about connection, affection, and healing. Though recovery would not be easy. The media frenzy outside the hospital had escalated. Reporters tried to purchase updates from staff. Drones hovered over the hospital roof to get a glimpse, and one reporter even posed as a nurse to sneak into the building, but was quickly dried out. The facility's security was bolstered. They moved Erica to a private floor and prohibited employees from speaking to the media. But leaks continued. One outlet reported that Erica and Safari were getting ready to reconcile, stating that they've been through hell and it brought them closer, according to a supposedly close friend quoted in the article. But Eric's team quickly shot it down. Her management said in a statement, "That is absolutely false. Relationships are not on her mind right. Now, her child is her primary concern. Fans, however, remain divided. A popular YouTube video titled "Why Erica Should Never Take Safari Back" garnered over 1 million views in just 2 days, sparking debates in the comments section. "He left her when she was at her weakest," one user wrote. Others believed that second chances were possible, while others demanded accountability, perhaps. This was a wake-up call for him. Others said people change when they experience genuine terror. She is worthy of better. Erica made a silent decision inside the hospital. She asked for one moment of alone time with Safari. Not a family, no doctors. Just them. She was resolute but pale when he walked in, and she talked gently but clearly. "Why at this time?" she asked. Safari made no effort to defend himself. He offered no explanations. "I made a mistake." He simply said, "I have behaved in a cowardly manner. I didn't know how to help you, so I ran." Erica's eyes filled with tears. "I almost died. Our son came dangerously close to death." "I understand," Safari replied. They were quiet for long before they said, "And it's killing me heavy." unacceptable. Then Erica spoke again. You will have to show him. Not me that you want to be a part of his life because we are not the main focus of this right now, in addition to yourself. Afri nodded slowly. While neither of them embraced, they didn't hold hands, romantic music and a charming reunion were absent. But something was different. They drew a line, obvious, firm, polite, and for the moment, that was enough as the days turned into weeks. Erica's strength returned. She began physical therapy. Determined to walk unassisted again, she read stories to her baby through the incubator wall and whispered lullabies to him every day. Doctors were amazed at the baby's strength, for example, social. Media began to shift its tone when someone commented, he's a fighter like his mother. Together, #Erica Strong and #Miracle Dobie began to gain popularity. Well-known persons sent flowers, supporters raised money for NICU's charities. In her honor, they were motivated. Even their former critics admitted. One tweet said, I had already judged her right now. I just hope she and that child do well. The next surprise, though, was a medical report that was made public. A screenshot that went popular on the internet claims that Erica's pregnancy problems began weeks earlier than most people realize. Despite being kept private, it revealed that 2 months before to the incident, she had briefly been admitted to the hospital. The text also made reference to recurrent emotional stressors once again. Speculation broke out. Fans questioned whether the stress in her personal life had subtly pushed her body to its breaking point. One writer claimed that this wasn't sudden. Instead, it was the result of pressure, carelessness, and heartbreak. Erica's team was furious about the leak. In a statement, her lawyer warned legal action behind the scenes. Investigations were carried out on hospital staff members. He declared that this was a blatant violation of medical privacy. Someone will be held responsible. 2 employees were suspended, and Erica, feeling more violated than ever, requested an early release as long as she followed strict at-home care instructions and went back daily to observe her infant. The doctors gave their approval when she finally left. The hospital cameras saw her wearing a sweatshirt and sunglasses while being taken to a private vehicle. She did not wave, she said. Nothing, but she held the child's photo close to her chest. She was at a loss for what to do, but she had clearly altered since coming to the hospital. A few weeks earlier, she has gone through death, sadness, betrayal, and dread, and somehow she had made it through it all. But the story did not stop there, because while her body was healing, her spirit was still catching up, and her baby's most important battle was just beginning. Fans worldwide are still wondering what will happen once the dust settles and Erica begins her drawn-out recovery. Will her infant get stronger every day and make it through these critical first few weeks? Will Safari assume leadership and finally realize his spatter? Dream above all with everything that she has endured. Will Erica ever be at peace? Now our only option is to hope. The whole issue has shocked fans, arousing intense emotions and exposing the brutal truth of what may happen behind the filtered smiles and glamorous photos. It reminds us that even the most resilient individuals may make mistakes, and that being tough doesn't always mean pretending nothing is wrong. Sometimes it means battling to survive when everything seems to be falling apart. The world observes Erica holding on to hope while her child battles in the intensive care unit. Supporters are sending prayers. Fans are writing sincere messages, and everyone is working toward the same objective: recovery, both physical and emotional. Not just for Erica, but also for the baby, and we would want to hear from you right away. What are your thoughts on the matter as a whole? Do you believe Safari truly regrets his previous actions? Should Erica give him one more chance, or is it time to move on without turning around? Do you think the media should be held accountable for overreacting at such a sensitive time? We'll be reading your comments, so please leave your ideas in the space provided below. Additionally, don't forget to press the bell button, like this video, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates on this ongoing story, since this is just start and not the finish.